I think we're on. Fingers crossed, it's all working. Let's see if I can move the cable without destroying everything. Oh yeah, it's a good day when that happens. He says just before he destroys everything. Fingers crossed. I think it's working. Right. Still have to sort out chargers and what have you. Ooh. Right, see if this is on. There it is, seems to be working. Haha, 7 already, that's a good start. Okay, right. Turn the sound down. That'd be good. Hello. Behind all the palaver. Up a bit. Excuse me. Alright, I have a little, what's this? An allegory of autumn or something like that. Some kind of autumnal story. I might arrange a few of these things slightly further forward. I've got some conkers, horse chestnuts. And this hourglass, which is rather good. Get a good angle with that. And some leaves. Some leaves that are on the turn. I think I might put a bit more of this stuff over here. Maybe that can go there. We'll get rid of that little one, don't need it. Hide it over there with the others. Change the lighting a little bit as well. A bit further back. Not quite as bright. Oh, I'm not sure about this at all. Still trying to make a decision as to what I'm going to paint and how. But I think that's all part of the fun, isn't it? So if you have any suggestions, do pipe up. Oh, it's my knife falling apart. Great. So yeah, it's definitely going to take me a few minutes to get started today. Ah, right. I've got notifications. Good stuff. I think what I'll do to begin with is just do a quick sketchy sketch and see how it looks. I've got some pre-mixed black here, which I did mix myself, so it's not cheating or nothing. See, these things are too small and this is too big. I'm already not happy with how this is set up. Move this back. Maybe I need to be on a higher stool to get this right. It's higher up. Maybe bring some of these leaves forward. No, not there. That's rather good, isn't it? No, I can't see anything. It makes no sense. This is awful. 20 minutes while I just move all of the furniture and get going. About a high stool. If I were high up. High up's more interesting. This camera might already be as high as it'll go. Let's see. I don't know. It's sort of looks like a hand, isn't it? Oh, the toy erasers are out again. It's good to know. Thoughts, always welcome. Oh, God's sake. Little morons. I just don't know what they're doing driving around like that. I mean, aren't they meant to be experimenting with drugs or something at that age? I can't really remember. Okay, let's take these away. I quite like that. No, it needs to be a little pile, doesn't it? Maybe something in between them. That would be great if that bent the other way. Oh, great. It does. No, can't see anything. Move these to one side, just to the right. Move forward a bit maybe. I quite like that one just falling out of its shell. I like the shapes in that one. Red leaves. That as a background. Oh, that's quite good because it's got direction to it. This is what I'm having trouble with finding, really. Dark in the foreground. That's better, and it's more of a pattern that way. I don't know how well this is going to work. A lot more fiddling to go here. Yes, yes, they're all out tonight. I thought they were restraining themselves to the car park. I heard some wheel spinning and then clapping earlier. So it's clearly a form of entertainment. Unlike this. But, yes. Oh, I can't get it. I think it might be a lighting thing. I'll try lighting it from the other side. See what that does. What do we think? Look from behind. Still a bit ugly. Well, those of you who are, come on, wake up. That's flickering, thank you. Those of you who are familiar with these live streams will also be familiar with the idea that sometimes I have no idea what's right and what works. I don't like this stool. There you go. That's a better height. Yeah, it's like a little join the dots with the conkers. Okay, I can try this out. It's going to be based around that shadow there. That's what's really going to do the job. So let's chuck that in there. And there'll be a sort of a foot here. Something like that. Bit of negative space, chuck that shape in. Just trying to trust my instincts at the beginning. There's that loop that goes around. It's going to come out here. It's going to go across there, and it's going to make that shape there. Okay, that's there. Okay, the conkers should fit in nicely. Yeah, just finding their way out to the edges. I can always move some stuff around, put in a few extras at the front if necessary. That's going to be in there, kind of thing. Ooh. Starting to find it now. There's going to be some leaves going off the side. What about some of these other shapes? That's the one with all the sort of brown colours in it. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be that shadow colour. These ones over here, is that too central? No, it's off to the side a bit. It's fine. I might move that upright over a bit, make it a bit bigger. We'll figure all this out. Move this back. Now this is the sort of thing that's in a particular, from a particular point of view, it will make a difference. That's much better, and that way those leaves kind of stick out of the background, give me a bit of green background as well. Nope, that's in the wrong place. That would be about there. Okay, nice big shadow shape here, which is going to sort of fit in with that. I can still move the whole lot over if I want to, so I don't have to be too exact about it. Yeah, so there's a nice white space there. There's a nice sort of white space here. I think I might go with that. I think that works pretty well. Chuck in a few of those shadows until I'm completely sure where they go. I think I've got to make more of the energetic lines coming away with these leaves, so yeah, I'm going to try and be quite careful not to do any outlines. That would mess up everything. That is about halfway. It's going to make it slightly taller. But compositionally, I'm fairly happy with that. I think that could work. Hey, after all that worry. Okay, I'm going to tip this camera forward a bit more. In fact, I can probably lower it down a bit, since I'm on my slightly shorter stool now. And then pan back a little bit. Oh no, that's as far as it will pan back. Fine then. Bring it a little bit closer. Okay, next I'm going to go with a different approach to colour this evening. I'm going to try something what would you call it? I'm going to put this orange on first. I'm going to start with a strong colour, which seems mad, but it's there on the palette. I may as well use it. And I want to get this warmth coming from these kind of, where these conkers are, where these shells are, what have you. I'll be going over it later. It's not permanent. And it's also in these leaves. I'll join them together, so I've got this sort of warm colour under here. Yeah. Kind of points downwards from there. It's also in there. It's also in, well, kind of here really. There's a bit of red escaping from that. Well, that all adds to the fun. Bit of a party. Okay, that probably looks a bit insane if you're watching at home. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense. I'll add a bit of black into this one. A bit of that stronger red. But this is more like an underpainting, so this is going to be far bluer really, but I want this to kind of show through. It's going to go in that direction kind of thing. There's some there, there's another leaf goes over the top. All of that is going to be over here somewhere. Anyway, a bit of that red going underneath. Let's go back to this orange. Chuck a bit of yellow in there. This is less strong. But there's still a bit of it there. I may as well try and sort of get that to, you know, play its little game. These lights would make up their mind. That's very odd, isn't it? Very odd. Okay, I'm going to put a load of blue into that. I'll make a purple for the shadows. Because it's already kind of orange. Right. To put some paint out. Yeah, the yellow content is in there to stop it getting too strong. Right, what we're going to need is tons of yellow ochre on there, that's fine. There seems to be plenty of most of the colours, except for white. Let's find me a tube of white. Here we are. Well, low power on my phone. I have to go and get a charger as well. I did keep everyone waiting a little bit, didn't I? Well, oh great, that's just fantastic. It's all over my hand somehow. Thankfully it's titanium white. Which is basically food colouring and linseed oil, which is vegetable oil, so it's basically a food. So no need to worry about that. Not that I'll be licking my fingers, but okay. Yeah, I'll get a charger now before I really get started. Okay, see if we can get YouTube up as well. Yeah. Right, there you are. You're on the palette with me, so where was I? Oh yeah, I was going to lighten this. Repeating myself. Okay, let's just chuck some of that on then. Go in there, into this shape. Steeper, more like that direction. Where else? Under here. Okay, so this is a sort of starting point for the shapes of these shadows, but actually there's a few colour changes in there as well. So there's some greens in there. I'm going to use this up before I change the palette. And clean it all up a bit. I'm going to see how strong a colour I can use and get away with it. There's definitely some greens in there. And there's some oranges further up. Almost red really out there. Some of that red goes under here as well. It's like there's, oh no, it's like there's two sources of shadows, which I think there are, courtesy of one of these lights, or both of them. There you are. I'll just turn that a bit. Hopefully it will get rid of the worst of it. Okay, that shadow colour in there is not much lighter. Yeah, a bit blue at the edges. Where else does this turn up? Maybe in here, maybe across here. Oh yeah, some of these shadows. That is positively orange in there. I'm trying to keep all of this pretty loose at the moment. The lights, when they turn up, will do the work. Oh. We had a green bit, didn't we? Sort of in there as well. And there. Okay. Haven't done the shadows of these conkers. Again, I think that might be... No, that's not coming from that one. It must be coming from this one, and it is. Right, turn that right over, put it at an angle. Cool. Right. A bit more blue, slightly stronger shadows at the front. Ah, everything's trying to collapse. It's darker in there, and it's darker in there. Where else is it? That's the foot, which I think it will be. This shadow actually isn't much further down. But again, like I said, I want this orange to interact. With the colours that go on top. So I'm alright with that. Not really sure where that finishes. Well, a lot of shadow in there. Keep all of that fairly dark. The leaves are going to be darker than the shadow in these bits. There, there's a few shapes. Few strong colours. Boy racers have calmed down a bit. Maybe maybe everything's going to be a bit more peaceful. So while this is on the brush, the tiniest bit of thinness, tiniest bit, still way too much. Let's get some of those greens. And then making shadows up at the back, which is sort of sticking out there. And then under here somewhere. Oh, I didn't even think about greens. Greens are a pain. Oh, that's the actual stalk rather than the shadow of it. The shadow of it kind of cuts into there. The dag follows that along. Now this grey is actually doing quite a good job of being the same tone as that paper, but it's going to have to change. Right. If I slow down and think about how to do this, I definitely want some background colour on first. Get the big shapes in. See where it leads me. Excuse me. kind of comes out of there and then goes through the thing and then comes out. Actually, it's a bit like that. Maybe it's further down. No, I think it's further down. And then it goes back in. Yes, I'm going to need to mix some of that background colour. I haven't got my bits at hand, I'm wandering around. Brushes, always useful. Now, with the foreground, I'm going to introduce some yellowness. I'm not going to go too far with it. I'm just going to use a bit of yellow ochre. Not like a lemon yellow or anything. But that can still look plenty bright. Borrow a bit of that orange. Yes, Emma. This is a bit of a change of starting point. I can cover these up, but they'll show through from underneath. It's one of the things about using a grey ground is it's very forgiving to begin with, especially mixing mid-tones. I don't need to do that. I've got a load of black I've mixed. But it's also quite plain. A lot of the time when if I'm doing a portrait, I'll often use either a strong complementary colour. So if I'm painting warm tones onto something, I kind of want a colour that is either a complementary, so sort of green and blue kind of thing. It makes the warm colours jump out, or I'll put a warm colour underneath, and then if I'm working on top in neutrals, there's still kind of a bit of a glow. Now that should be alright out the front. Yeah, get a bit of a curve, a bit of a dig in there. I'm not worried about going over the edges a bit. So there's the yellow in here. It's going to give it a bit of extra light. At least while I'm on this bit, I'm going to give it a bit more, bit of shape. I don't know if that's too yellow. I'll grey it off as I go back, so as I need more paint I'll add in more of this grey. I'll keep the warm colours over here actually. I'll just bung these negative spaces in. See what they deliver. I'm confident enough I'm going to work into all these colours that I'm not too fussed about getting like a perfect balance. It's more turning the colour up, see what it delivers. What I do want to make sure I do is make nice brush marks. Because if I make ugly brush marks, it's going to be an ugly painting. It's as simple as that. Okay, so I've got that shape there. I've got this shape here. This one here. That's quite fun. This one here, It's quite fun as well. Ooh. That's kind of meeting the shadow there. And then this one here is leading me out to excuse me a moment. There we are. Hopefully on the screen this is starting to pop out already. There's a few other shapes, so there's this one here. Again, this paint's probably getting a bit thin already. There's a shadow I missed there, so I might have to come back for that. Get another brush on the go. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, shadows, there they are. Now I was thinking of autumnal things today, doing an autumnal painting. And I was suddenly reminded of every time autumn pops up, I've got this sort of automatic response from my old English teacher, who used to always quote, "Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness." Can't remember who said it, or wrote it, or whatever. I'm sure somebody can inform me. You're an educated lot. But yeah, and then I remembered that's what he did. That's what his lessons were. He didn't I mean, we had reading lists and stuff like that, but we just used to read it ourselves. And all he did was just wander around the room, spewing the contents of his brain as if it was some kind of manna from heaven, that we were meant to write it all down, and that was in some way going to help us. And all it means is that every now and again I'm thinking, why do I suddenly think of that quote when this subject comes up? And it was like a course in how to sound like a educated, literate person without actually doing any of the work. Like I said, I can't remember I haven't read the poem that quote's from. It would be one of the Romantic poets. He was quite fond of his Keats and Shelley and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I thought, I'm carrying that around in my head. And then, bizarrely, I saw my old German teacher walking down the road, which would be unremarkable except for the fact that I went to school in Essex. But he lives around here. He was a nice man. I say he was nice because he didn't give me a really hard time about just not even beginning to care about learning to speak German. He still managed to be nice and positive, even if you couldn't give him monkeys. I think you realise that, you know, life was bigger for most people than learning to find the way to the sausage stall. But I can still say, ich brauche Geld für die Umschläge. That's still in there. That means I saved my money to buy envelopes. Or possibly turnips. I think they use the same word for both. They're efficient like that, the Germans. Need a new word? Stick a load of old ones together. We ought to do that more. So yes, it's been quite the blast from the past today. Yeah, that's sort of working, isn't it? Sort of, he says. I think sort of is generous. Anyway, while this paint's on the surface, I can still move it around. I can chuck other colours into it. I think it needs to travel across here a bit. Oh no, that's the... Yeah, it's a start. You know what? I'm going to chuck a bit more white in there. And a bit of the grey. Okay, that's a little bit lighter. Yeah. Okay. That's quite forgiving. And then when that works into it, I want the yellow to read as sort of warmth. Oh, a piece of charcoal. I like to have a separate easel for working in charcoal, really. It's not good, it mixes with the paint. And in spite of my incredibly careful, tidy approach to brushwork, somehow still manages to get on the brush and in the paint. Hey! Okay. Now there's a few bits where the glass of the egg timer, well, it's not an egg timer, is it? Unless you're cooking ostrich eggs, I suppose. Actually condenses and gets brighter, so it gets brighter in here. Maybe a little bit under there. Maybe that should be lower down. Bing bong. Oh, Nick, it's put the whole thing down. Right. So if you'd just done the first two lines, we'd have thought, oh, that's a lovely quote that he knows. But it's perfectly clear you copied and pasted that off Wikipedia. But I approve of that, so thank you very much for doing that. And Sue has identified it as Keats, so there we are. We can all feel very civilised. Now I only used yellow ochre. So that's the shadow. The actual stalk bit is up here. This shape goes over the top. So I can yellow this up more later on as and when I need to. I do need a hot toddy. I've got a cold. Whew. What's next? While it's a bit darker, I can put a bit of that in here. It gets darker in there. a bit in there as well. How's that coming on? Rev it, Matty. Excuse me. Oh, that is colourful. That's good and bright, isn't it? Quite pleased with that. I might go in with the darks for the leaves before I go in with the lighter colours. That green is quite. Let me mix something over here. I'm going to use some Viridian and use a bit of ultramarine. And I'm going to find out how much red I need to put in it in order for it to behave itself. Maybe not that much. Crikey. Sticking with a big brush. Right. There's quite a bit of red in this. Now where can I see it? Here. Start to see how that orange is going to work now. Let's keep these marks simple. Yeah, another shadow I've missed. I definitely ought to have more than one brush on the go. Where else? There's that shadow there. There's a whole load of green goes around here. That's not dark enough. But it will do as a kind of a ground. Definitely some green inside that shadow. Just general shapes now. That's sort of travelling up there. Again, this is just the one colour. I'm going to let it get a little bit greener and a little bit lighter. Let me see what that's doing. I think that's better. Okay. That's too pale now. We should probably do better for these bits. Okay, too many things to think about. I'm going to do a brighter green next to it. Some green and some blue. Let's pop a bit of that in there. Where else? Pop a bit in there. I could use some. There's a sort of a shadowy edge in there. That'll do it. Yeah, there's that shadow bit there, but that's maybe it is bluish. I've got to simplify a bit. Can't do all of the detail all of the time. This shape of this brush is coming apart. I could use a stronger colour there. I'm going to put almost pure blue on that. See what I can get away with. Naughty. Getting back in the little cars. Is that a bit of colour? Oh, actually, I think that might be closer to what I want. Just a bit yellower. I'm using some lemon yellow here as well, which isn't a very intense colour. It's not going to sort of dominate the mix, which is good. Yeah, back to the brown one again. I'll do for behind here. A little bit sticking out. Okay, quite a lot of light green to go into these bits. Only a little bit into there. So let's try making some of that. Yeah, a bit more yellow in for the brighter bits. Right there. Yeah. Yeah, that bit there. Yeah, starting to happen. Right, how am I doing for time? Oh, it's 10:10. Right, it took me a little while to get going, but I think I need that hot toddy. I'm going to have a little break. Have a long and hard think about what I've done. See what's coming next, and then come back and polish this off. Actually, there's a few things I want to get in first. Excuse me, beg your pardon. I'm doing that quietly. Some of that light. I think just for the sake of finding my way into where it goes. Yeah, that's better. Even going to come further down than that as well, isn't it? Yeah, that's definitely a good time for a break. Right. Hi Florence and Connor. Again. Yeah, cup of tea. Come back with a new focus. I've just seen I have a viewer on Twitch. Hello, whoever you are. I've only just started streaming to Twitch, so that's quite new and exciting for me. I don't know how it works. I have a feeling I'm meant to be playing a computer game, but I've never been one to follow rules very well, so there we go. Is it up here? Yeah. Yeah, we do. I have a viewer. I'm about to get back at this, have a crack at it. Get prepared. A cup of tea. Get another couple of brushes on the go. I'm going to get the oil out. Fix the drawing. That definitely needs mending. Or maybe I'll just keep moving my head. I think it's probably the latter. There's a few things need mending on this. I'll have a few brushes on the go at once. Colour shaper might be handy if I need to remove any paint. I think I'm going to do the rest with brush mixes. I might need the palette knife again for something. The sponge is in the way, don't need that. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. A few things need sorting. One is shoving that across a bit. That's going to be a bit lighter there. No, this brush won't hold its shape. That's terrible. Need all that one. Okay, good. I'm going to go back to that shadow colour. There's a nice little sort of loop that's darker at the edge. Yeah. This has all got to come across because actually that vertical bit comes up here. Yeah, so this whole thing is wider. It's all going a bit pink now. So that'll be some thicker paint on top later on. Middle of it. It's kind of in here. That's too... This paint's getting a bit sticky. And then there's that, and then there's the upright, which will go down here. Okay, this whole thing's changing shape now, so a bit of a drawing adjustment. Now, I don't have to be afraid of this, of the dark going in here, because it's going to be, what would I call it? It's all going to be very dark, this whole area. Now this I want to be completely straight, so just to be cheeky, right-handed, like Ronnie O'Sullivan, just to be flash. Okay, that's the middle there. So if I bring this up, the middle up here, it's going to be at that point. I can see it now. If I join that up, I can just do something halfway in between the two. Dotted line. That should have been further over. I won't put any oil in it quite yet. That's where it's going to go. Now, if everything else around that is a bit wonky, I don't even care. That doesn't bother me in the least. Quite like the way it gets a bit hazy there. I might put a bit of orange in it just to be, just because the light behind disturbs your eye a bit. And when it comes down. That's the little ball bit in the middle. Oh, come on. Concentrate. Let's get that shape. And we get up to here. Okay, here's where I need a bit of oil, I think. Just to make the paint flow a bit. Here. I don't want to get too fussy. Really got to be careful of that. Yeah, I might have to clear a bit of paint away from there, just so I can get a proper dark mark in, but in the meantime, oh no, that seems to have done it. See, a bit of oil really helps. There's that dark mark going in there. And it cuts across here. Oh, that's an angle. Slight angle, like that. And it starts to travel round. And again, I can do this like it's little, like it's a dotted line. That's where it's straight. Here it's going at an angle. There it goes into the thing. And then it will come out pretty much directly opposite. Yep, that's about right. In that direction. Straightens up about there. and the first bit was wrong. It does make sense to me now, actually. Maybe my head's moved. Okay, I'm going to mix some more of that background colour. A bit of yellow ochre, a bit of grey. See how that comes out. Yeah, pretty much the same. Let's put that in there. Try and get it to behave itself. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, I'm on a roll now. It's all going fine. Except it's not. Ah, that needs to come a lot further over. It'll come all the way out here. And the edge of that bowl. Da, da, da. Yeah, it's actually out there. This is a tricky thing to draw. I won't deny it. That's in there somewhere. That's the edge of the bowl, of the thing. Yeah. Ball on the top. What about here? Is that the same distance twice? I haven't done any measuring today. I've just been eyeballing the whole thing. Yeah, same top and bottom, pretty much. That middle bit is actually here. Okay, I'm finding a few bits and pieces now. This is where it starts to get interesting, isn't it? Bit of slightly thicker paint just where I need a few really heavy dark marks. Yeah, okay. Starting to turn up. Yeah, that's quite fun. I thought this might be a bit of a challenge. I was right. But yeah, a few well-placed, sort of strong contrasts will really do the job. There's a foot there, that will do. Let's not overwork it, that comes up, that's pretty much level with here. That's that ball bit in the middle. And we've got that loop on the top as well, haven't we? So if I can place this, which is going to be a bit lower down than that. And it's got that shape. The outside of that is also going to be level with that, and it's about here. Yeah. The outside of this is about here. That's about there. Just starting to go up at an angle. There should be a slightly different ellipse at the bottom, so at the top than at the bottom, which gives a sense of the distance and the scale. Oh, crikey! That was an effort. I won't lie. I had to really concentrate on that. Okay, bit of thicker paint. To go in here, I can't do mark after mark. It's got to be pretty direct. This hasn't got any background behind it at the moment. That's all right. Where else does it get proper dark? Let's chuck some in here. I'm going to keep this really rough, actually. Sort of a few stalks and what have you. Bit going across there. That's fine. Bits of leaves coming up. Oh, my tea's in the way now. Well, I hope we can see this coming together now. Right, back to me green. And I'm going to make a sort of a hazy light green just over one side using part of the background colour. You know what, I might put a bit of dark in there as well. It's dark, but it's not as strong. So going in there. Nope, that didn't work at all. This is going to mix in on the surface, that's better. That's more like it. Okay, there's a shadow under there as well. And under there. And then it gets proper dense when it comes out on the other side. I'm even going to darken those a little bit, just for the complete effect. This stalk here, a few bits of leaves. Haven't even started on the conkers, have I? Let's just use what's on the brush, which is some green, which has got a yellow content, and some of that purpliness, and put in another colour to go in here. That's a bit more like the one I'm seeing. It's also got this change over here. Let's go back, bit of white, bit of yellow ochre. Let's see what this does. That's too light. Oh, it's okay for here though. That'll happen later though. I've got to put those conkers in first. What about in here? Yes, that'll do it. Okay. And behind here. The light keeps going on and off. It's very unhelpful. Okay, bit of oil because this paint's getting sticky. And it needs to be a bit yellow just to fit in with what's behind. This does this. A little bit lighter, a little bit more grey. Okay. There you are. Bit of that space up at the back. Just define that a bit more. Yeah, it gets quite bright back there. Into this leaf, got a shadow at the end. Yeah. That. Let's make a grey one. Again, bit of oil, bit of white. And that's what we'll pull into this background colour here. somewhere in between the two there. Okay, it's starting to appear now, he says. Okay, I don't want to overfiddle with this. I'm going to put some of that grey into the middle where it belongs. A little bit in here, there. I don't want to overdo the leaves in the background, but there are a few things that need sorting out about them. And a lot of it's just to do with the light. Straight line, that's coming up. Zoom across here. All these little flaky bits. What about across here? Now it gets yellower. Too yellow. And you get a little bit of raw umber in there. That did a lot. This is where that orange kind of does a little trick, doesn't it? So here, just a few little splashes of the yellower colour mixing in. Same here. Let's mix up a whole chunk of that. Put the dark one in first. Okay, put a bright bit in there and there. A couple of little dabs there. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that does the job. Yeah, I'm fiddly now. A few edges on that leaf. Need a few browns as well. some red and some more umber. That kind of works. Right, well, I've got that ready brown out. Let's put a bit in here, a bit in there, quite a bit in there. And some in there. Oh, and some in there. Okay, get that light yellowy colour. Might need a little bit of red in it. It might be too much. Okay, so when I'm putting this out, it was the wrong colour. It should be more like the green. Sort of green and grey there. Anywhere else? No. The real darks will go in afterwards. But for the moment, and the bright highlights as well. This should do a job. That wasn't the right mark, but there we go. It's in now. What about over here? I don't want to rush it, but I don't want to get too fiddly either. Okay. Where was I with this? Oh yeah, this is sort of a dark grey colour. Let's make that a deep reddy brown colour, which is kind of here. And put a bit around that. Little spikes there, looks quite fun. And a little shape on the inside, which I misjudged. And here, there's a couple of deep shadows. And in here, that's going to have to get really black. I'm just going to do that now, just so I can see that it works. Yes. Where else? Put a bit in there. Jumping ahead now with my heavy darks. What about over here? Yeah, and in there. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Okay. I'm going to go in with the strong highlights now. Like that, a bit more yellow ochre. A little bit more white. Okay, this isn't strong highlights. This is partial highlights. Right there. About over here. Oh yeah, I missed a bit of the dark there, which I could have done with. Okay, let's really get these highlights now. It's just going to be white and yellow ochre. That's all that's going into this. A bit more white than that even. Okay, there. Okay, just trying to get the language of this. Nope. There we go. That's pretty much just going to be white over there. Oh, I picked up a hair from somewhere, thanks. You weren't invited, but yeah. Sort of all mixing on the surface a little bit now. Nice bright highlight in there. Okay, so the casings are sort of showing up now. There was a bit of a shadow I missed. Where was that? It was over here. Let me get the brush to keep its shape, that'd be good. Smashing. Okay, let's get some of that conker colour, shall we? That deep red. Let's put some of that in. There's some blues and things to go in afterwards, but to begin with, this will do it. I started that in the wrong place. I should let the orange show through underneath, which it's doing now. That's good. Darker. Good. Oh, a bit there. Now when it reflects the light, we get this bluey reflection. But it also turns up in other places. Other than just in the shine. Yeah. So if I get some raw umber and some blue, and let's put a few really dark bits in just where it matters. It can all mix in a bit on the surface later on. Sneak a bit in there. Go back to that grey a second. More a bit to put on here. Just for those dark bits. I don't mind that orange showing through again. It's quite useful. Okay, let me make a much lighter version. And that'll go here. It's not actually not brown and yellow enough. Okay, it's 11 already. Well, it was a slow start. Okay, now while I'm on this grey colour, which is quite dark, I can do some little reflections off the underneath, which are turning up under here. That's got some on it. That's definitely got a whole bit. Sort of. And then those little highlights, which will start off as white, but I'll work them in a bit. So, yeah, let's get some of that red colour. Let's just do where those highlights go. What about there? A little stripe. And then another bit here. And here. Not so much. That orange makes a comeback. That's naughty. Okay, I'm being lazy in doing all this with the same brush. Right, on that bright highlight, the light, I've established the light is yellow, so that's what colour the light is. Can't change it now. Oh. Yeah. I've got my grey colour, which I can lighten slightly where necessary. Okay, that's some conkers, isn't it? What I haven't got is that shadow there. I'll pop that one in. I didn't really get going on these leaves at the front, so I'll do that now. A little dab of oil, get some of that black going. I've already got the red on the surface, so we can establish some little bits. Pop a little bit of alizarin in there, just to keep it red. And it's just getting the general language of it really here, rather than fine details and stuff. Once that's in, then I can do the lighter version, which is going to be a lot bluer. Oh, it's still quite red. Let's see if that works. I don't even know what, I nearly said brand, what brand of tree this is, what type of tree this is. So I still don't know the word. After brand I nearly said make. If anyone knows what make of tree, yeah. Not sure how I feel about that, but it's not an important part of the picture, so I shouldn't be fiddling with it too much. There's definitely a sense of the leaves from behind. I'll wash these brushes. I'm going to put in some last darks for the timer. I'm going to go in here. Oh, that brush isn't holding its shape at all. Even with quite thick paint on it. How's that? That's better. Okay, so it's ever so slightly lighter there. Let's mix that in. Subtle. What about this side? Okay, I think I'm sticking with this small brush. It's working. Thick paint, put it where it needs to go, and then leave it. Don't fiddle. There's that dark, heavier dark on the inside of there. Proper thick impasto mark going down there. That's important. And on there. And there. And actually up here as well. Right. Got to really define the edges of this glass too. So I'm going to mix a grey here and replace whatever that was meant to be on the inside with it. There's also a bit around here which is grey. There's a few bits in there before I put the actual darks in, which are coming. Okay, a couple of darks and they kind of they'll sweep out from the inside. That's quite nice, isn't it? Oh yeah, that background colour, I never fixed it. What was this? No, that was the purple. What about in here? Oh, I quite like that. Bring some of that purple in. How about this? That's close enough, probably. I'm getting quite vague now. I'm surprised so many of you are still here. You're hardcore, you lot. Do you feel like you're committed now? Like staying up to watch the end of a film that you kind of wished you'd never put on, but it's too late now. Okay. Highlights. Ding. Haha. Now, as long as these line up appropriately, we will have ourselves a a sense of what goes where. That needs some dark around underneath it, but there you go. Let's pop a bit on there. That other side doesn't really have any, but this will get weaker as it goes around. Oh, it's got a little white edge on it. There's a tiny bit there. It's sort of softer. Same as over here. Okay. And there's a warmer light coming from the other side. Got some of that. little ding there. That's got to be thicker. There we go. Ping. And while I've got some light on the brush, I've got this sort of light shape that breaks that edge and really sort of starts to define that. It does it again over here. Less visible, but it's also present. Does it in here. Kind of does it around there. Oh, and here. It's got this sort of peachy quality. It sort of collects on the inside. Maybe a little bit there and there. I think a bit of that yellow coming in here. Looks a little bit more luminous, doesn't it? I think that's nearly done then. I'm going to want a bit more background colour. Which again, let's chuck a load of light in that. Oh, that's quite a lot. I like it though. That kind of works. There's this shadow under the brush. What about over here? Just for an extra bit of contrast. Okay, and soften it up as it goes closer to the back. Back here, let's grey that off. That's less of an interruption then. I don't have a name for this. It's the first time in a little while I haven't had an absolutely awful pun. Oh, I do want to obliterate some of that yellowness at the front. So if you could think of a terrible pun that I can use to name this picture, I'd love to hear it. I won't use it, obviously. I mean, you'd be wasting your time. But yeah. A bit more light at the front. Yeah, it can take that. I'm happy with that. I'm stopping there. He says continuing to make marks. There's little bits I've missed. The last few little bits I've missed, like that, that is actually going to be important. It's too light. Yeah, that's important. Let's bring a bit of that light round there. Soften that up. Bring a bit of extra light at the back. That's a bit of shadow. Okay, well that's a good colour for a signature as well, isn't it? Tiny bit of thinners. I think it's cured to be cold as well, so that's a result. We have a closer look. A little bit further back. I'm guessing that's pretty much it. Yeah. That was quite fun. I enjoyed that. Sorry I was so horribly unprepared, but well, what were you expecting, honestly? I'm seeing a couple of other little bits here. See, it's not until you stop that you really see those things that jump out. And I always say never put pure white on, but I'm really confident I've worked this up to the point where I can put pure white on it. There's a bit there. There's a bit there. Yeah, and that finishes it off quite nicely. I really want to put it somewhere else, but I must not. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's been really nice to have you along. I think I still have my Twitch viewer. Do send me a message and say hello, unless you just left it on the background by accident, in which case continue to ignore me, that's fine. Yeah, it's been really nice having you along, and yeah, having another scribble, see what comes out, isn't it? That was quite fun. There's little things that are annoying me, little things that are bugging me, but I'll just leave them. I doubt I'll notice them in a week, so yeah, hang on to that. And yeah, I think that orange is sort of, you know, where it breaks through in little gaps. There's a warmth to this, which I don't always get in all of my pictures, I don't think, so. Anyhow, thanks for coming. See you next time.